So there's a reason why I say every single year, if you want the best deals, buy in December. And I'm going to show you empirically exactly why. What's going on, y'all? It's Mason Bleasdell, your Austin real estate agent, and it is really interesting. This one I want to get into some real numbers, looking back at January close statistics for 2025, because like I hinted at in the intro, every year, if you want the best deal, like there's a reason all my investors buy in December. And look at these close statistics from January, homes that went under contract in December, you can really start to see why. Now, is this indicative of the market? I really don't think so. This is very much a seasonal thing, but it's very, very cool to talk about. And if you're thinking about, obviously you have the least to choose from. Typically in December, there's the least number of homes for sale, but I'm going to show you why you get pretty good deals statistically. So let's jump right in. There's three different things that we're going to talk about in this video. First, I want to talk about some recent stats from the last week. New homes pending and price drop. That is the best indicator of what we're going to see as we move into the spring market. I also want to talk about those close statistics from January 2025. And then at the end, give you a little bit of my thoughts, like what I have seen through my own listings, because it's very dramatically different than what we're going to talk about. So let's jump right in. And first of all, last 7 days recording this video, we saw 10,058 new listings. That's pretty far up from what we saw when we recorded this in the first week of January. But again, a little bit typical of this market. The one that's really high up, very typical, as we're starting to get towards spring, and I'm going to talk more about this at the end, 975 homes are pending, going under contract. That is a very, very nice ratio compared to 733 in January, that same first week. 1,016 price drops. That's a little bit lower than what we saw in January. Again, I'll talk a little bit more about what I'm seeing at the very end, but all very, very interesting data. Again, empirically, you can't argue with it. Let's jump into January 2024. Again, this is the entire Austin MLS, so Austin and all of its suburbs. And, these are homes that went under contract in December, which historically is one of the slowest months of all of the year. So you're going to see some lower stats in here versus some of the previous months. Check this out. 2,013 homes closed. That's pretty sharply down from both November and December. Again, looking at closings, homes that went under contract a month prior. Average sales price pretty dramatically down at $523,000. Average percent list price sales price ratio remaining the same. Average price per square foot also pretty sharply down from the same in December. And average days on market is also pretty substantially up, considering only 1 month's worth of change. Talking about the medians, same thing here. Median sales price pretty sharply down at $399,000. Again, pretty far down from December. Median sales price list price remain at the same. Median price per square foot is also down, and median days on market is also up. Again, a little bit of this is expected. It's a lot of the seasonality of the market, but when you guys, my clients, are like, what's the best time of year to buy? This is why I say December, in terms of at least getting the best deal. Now, the downside is usually the quote unquote best homes don't come up for sale around this time, because the quote unquote best homes are usually people savvy in real estate, and they'll wait for that spring market, which is what we're getting into here now. This is pretty good data, honestly, as to why it's pretty much a bloodbath when it comes to values in December. So if you're trying to sell, even pulling off over the Christmas holidays is probably worth it, and coming back on in January. Now I want to talk about briefly what I've seen with my own listings. We are getting into the spring market now. All of my listings, even the ones that were tricky to sell last fall was one of the slowest times I've ever dealt with, at least working in this business. Even the ones that were tougher to sell are now going under contract. Listing traffic is pretty substantially up. Like, folks are moving. I'm getting more calls than I ever have. Hey, we're ready to go. And I think a few of it's just a lot of the reasons why people waited last fall. Whether it's interest rates, seeing what those are going to do. Whether it's presidential election, all those kinds of things. Whether any of those are favorable or not, I think at this point doesn't make too much of a difference. But we know where we're going to be at. Obviously mortgage rates are not directly correlated to the Fed rate, but the Fed has decided that they're not going to do any price drops. The president has been selected. Whether it's your favorite candidate or not, we know where we're going to sit for the next while. So if you were going to buy a house, but you wanted to wait for some of these things to settle out, it kind of is that time of year anyways. And I think we're starting to see a lot of that in. Last year, again, was fairly slow. Even compared to some of the pre-COVID years, is very, very slow. And I think a lot of that's been pent up energy. I was just showing a new build yesterday They sold 4 already this month. Like, there's a lot more traffic, and it's not just me. All the other, my colleagues in this industry are saying that. I've got a lot of listings coming up. I think a lot of good homes are going to come up for sale too. People who are wanting to move rather than only needing to, which is what seemed to be a lot of the theme last year. It was really the relocation folks, or the folks that needed more space. It was not as much the I want a new house. I'm seeing a lot of the I want a new house now. So we'll see how this plays out. Now, if this video is helpful for you, if you are looking for a real estate agent to work for you in the Austin area, whether you're selling or you're looking to buy, reach out. My personal contact details are on the screen and down below. I sure hope this video was helpful to you, just getting a sense of what it's looking like in Austin. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.